them to go fuck himself. Keep talking, Jason.
Good morning, everybody. My name's Rick. On behalf of a certain Canadian, a great Canadian, I want to thank all you people for being here today. In a short few days, we're going to celebrate Remembrance Day, this great reclaim that takes place just over there at Old City Hall. I want you all to remember and tell everybody you know that we have a deputy prime minister who's the granddaughter of a Nazi. So if you ever wonder why our country's in trouble, she also sits on the WEF with the son of a Nazi named Klaus Schwab. Many of you may not know that, many of you do. So why do the protected need to be protected from the unprotected by forcing the unprotected to use the protection that does not protect the protected in the first place? Can anybody give me an answer on that? No, that's going to know it to make a few heads explode. I happen to work in independent investigative journalism as a producer. And I get to meet a lot of interesting people. I've had the great pleasure and privilege to talk to people like Dr. Judy Mikovits, Dr. Robert Malone, Dr. Shiva, Dr. Roger Hodkinson, and a list of many others that you should all really make sure you're acquainted with. I'm going to get acquainted with a gentleman that I met very early when I started to become very curious as to what was going on back in about March of 2020. His name is Vincent Gerses. Vincent is a great man, had a very distinguished career with the Ontario Provincial Police. He's now retired.
It's called the Canadian Charter of Rights, 40 years ago. And it's only taken 40 years to have our Charter of Rights decimated within 1 year by not the people of this country, by the leadership within this country. Decimated. And a lot of you wonder, how is that possible? How did that happen? It happened in 2019. Something happened in 2019 to ruin it for all of us. You see, politicians, lawyers, people of power, they understand that the one thing you don't mess with in this country is the justice system. You don't go near the attorney generals or the solicitor generals. The men and women of law enforcement, many, not all, but many, have spoken out more, not taking a political position. But they fully understand the value of the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms that our forefathers and fathers before them have paid the price with blood, sweat, and their lives to bring us this freedom. The freedom that my parents lost when they lost their country. In 1944, they lost their country. And they came to Canada because it was a free land. Like many, many immigrants have come to Canada because of it being a free land. Because its status here today, and that is Mike Jackson. Mike, if you can come on up, Mike J. He's an educator for human rights, and many of you know him as Mike J. He's a Toronto educator with the Toronto District School Board advocating for human rights for both students and educators. And I have seen Mike be very active over this last year. Please give him a round of applause. Thank you.
All right, nice to see a lot of people because that tells you that a lot of us are awake. Our governments are using our taxpayer dollars to oppress us, suppress the truth, rob us of our livelihoods, attempting to rob us of our dignity and our wealth. They've gotten our schools and employers to hold our jobs and our children's education as ransom, all with our taxpayer dollars. Meanwhile, we're trying to bring lawsuits in all the different avenues we can to stop them. Lawsuits that take a long time sometimes, but we still have to do it. But lawsuits that take a long time and could cost a lot of money. Money when we need it right now to live. Again, all with our taxpayer dollars is what they're doing this with. Well, to hell with these criminals. It's high time we start using our taxpayer dollars for us. And that is exactly what myself and a few educators did last week. On October 27, 2021, myself and a handful of other staff from the Toronto District School Board went to the Toronto Police and reported crimes of extortion, assault, attempted assault, harassment, and many other charges under the Criminal Code of Canada. And we did it against all the trustees because they voted unanimously to do this to us and our kids. and our Director of Education, Superintendent, and many more. Our governments and our employers, they're committing crimes. A lot of us think, oh, it's my employer, it might be a manager you've known, or your boss, you've liked them for a long time. But now, in your mind, it's like, oh, it's just my job, it's a policy. No, it's criminal. It's criminal. We need to get this in our minds that this is a criminal and they should be treated as such. Criminals.
Premise is propaganda. Joseph Goebbels told them, make the lie big, make it so big that no one will contest it. Repeat it, repeat it, repeat it until it becomes true. How many of you think that the people in our mainstream media are under the spell of that right now? It's quite funny that they take great pride in shaming people who have used proven medication called ivermectin to cure and treat COVID-19, calling it a drug for animals, which there is a form of it that is, but there's also a human form of ivermectin. Yet these same proud and braggadocious people say nothing about the fact that the recent appointment to the Canadian Health Agency.
Hello everyone. I'm terrified of public speaking. Luckily, look at it. Okay, I'm going to take 4 minutes of your time. 4 minutes, I promise.
Healthcare workers, the government just said we're not pushing mandates on you. So why would the employers there think they still can? File charges! And this, I hope, goes across the country, because think about it. If every single person in our country decided to go to the police and file a report, to report the crimes that are being done to them, there's a lot of police who think like us. It's only a matter of time before detectives will file the charges and start investigating and take these criminals